Shubha Maudgal is the wife of a very good friend of mine, who's 1 year junior to me, Shashi Maudgal from chemical engineering, and Pramod Kush. Pramod Kush happens to be a Bombayite, Mumbai, and I have met him several times in Bombay, and we had some parties over here. Yeah. So we have people from Kiran Shah, who is the oldest one, uh, who's the youngest one, rather, younger than.
Well,
He's 74 textile technology. Am I right?
right, right.
Yeah. So he was the former CIO in the Middle East with one of the Bahrain's largest retail bank.
Yeah.
Uh, he's also done a diploma from Bombay University. I'm wondering from where.
Jamnalal Bajaj,
Wow, that's great. Which year?
75, 1975.
19. Okay. That's the year when I passed out. Yeah, from
Yeah.
IIT.
So you were 1 year junior to me.
Yeah, that's right.
Pradeep ji was 2 year junior to me, and
Yeah,
so
it's a good gathering here.
yeah.
Then we
I
have the.
well in maybe you were in which hostel?
I was in Aravali.
Okay, so
You were
we
in.
should have met. We should have met during the five
Yeah,
years that
I'm
we had.
sure
Yeah,
we would have, but unfortunately, after the IIT days, this opportunity was missing here.
true,
So next
true.
we have is Pradeep, who is 77 pass out for electrical, and he is the Asia Pacific VR AR. I don't know what is this VR AR stands for. Pradeep, I hope it is virtual reality or
And
and
to be honest, I also don't know what it is. But
Mhm.
jokes apart, it is virtual reality, augmented reality association,
Oh, so I was
which is the
wondering
world's
whether.
largest emerging technology association.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, I was wondering whether A also stands for the artificial, because I can't understand the artificial reality here.
So you see, we change the stance from time to time. So today we talk in terms of intelligent emotion.
Okay, so
How immersive technologies are blending with AI and other emerging technologies.
great. Well, as far as we are concerned, we are a class. We call it a dinosaur class. I don't know. Though you're only 2 years younger than me, but I think we have been out of touch with the uh, academic, so don't know much about it. Yeah. So next we have is Dr. Shubha Maudgal. I never knew her that she was a doctor. Shubha, when did you do your? I think it's an honorary doctor degree. Am I right?
Completely honorary. I worked for towards it,
Okay.
and I have a PhD.
Oh, I didn't know that you had a PhD. In which subject?
Sorry,
Which subject?
in polymer chemistry, high temperature resistant polymers,
Wow, that's great. Yeah.
which is,
So,
I think you were aware that we went to NASA. We went for a year to the
yeah,
US NASA,
correct,
where
correct, correct. Yeah, that's right.
that is care of my non-honorary PhD degree.
Oh, that's great. Okay, she has worked for NASA. She has worked for Johnson and Johnson. She was National Physical Laboratory in London. Am I right? Yeah.
That's right.
So,
Also my
so
polymer background.
great.
And
So next
currently I'm
we,
working with the Cancer Patients Aid
yes,
Association, which is what the CPAA stands
yeah,
for. And now,
yeah.
since 1999, I have worked for them, and now I'm executive director.
Wow. So you're doing a great job for the cancer patients here. Okay, now we have this Pramod Kush. He's also an M.Tech in chemistry, 1980 batch. He's the honorary. He has also obtained an honorary doctorate in literature. I mean, he was working with the Indian Standard Institute as a director, and I mean, he's a multifaceted guy who has worked for Bollywood as a poet, as a lyricist. as a composer, etc., etc., and I don't know what not. Yeah. Pramod, are you there?
Yeah,
Say
yeah,
hello
but
to hey,
I,
we
I'm
can't
there,
see
but
you.
I am not visible to myself.
That's bad.
I don't know what is the problem. But it's okay if I'm visible to everybody. It's okay.
Yes, and last we have Neeraj Vaidya. He's the youngest one. He's a B.Tech in ME. ME, I suppose, is mathematical. Am I right,
No,
Neeraj?
no, it's a mechanical engineering,
Oh,
and my profile is quite rare.
yeah.
I've spent like my last decade in Africa. So I was in
Oh,
Dubai.
oh,
So I did in finance also I did CFA after
oh.
IIT, and then I did MBA from IM Kozhikode, and then I did some executive program with Columbia Business School. So
Wow.
so a lot of studies as typical IITian, but I'm enjoying the way the life is taking me and
Oh,
not
good.
interrupting my way towards the journey.
That's great. Yeah. I mean, we got so tired studying during the 5 years that we decided not to study after that. Yeah. I don't know what makes you still stick and go for it. Yeah. Anyway, we will divide this session in three parts. The first one is how did you get to know about IIT and what was the life prior to joining the IIT, then the life in IIT, and life after IIT. So, do we start with the what do we start with? Let's start with Shubha. She's the only lady around there. So, Shubha, how did you get to know about IIT and how it was that you entered IIT?
So, yeah, I was an accidental IITian. What happened was that this was after my board exam on the 11th standard. A friend of mine was appearing for the JEE. At the
Hmm.
time, I was very clear that my only ambition was to become a doctor. So I
Wow.
took the JEE more as a lark, and I got through. And then after that, I got the National Science Talent Scholarship also. So
Wow.
that sort of paved the way for me to join IIT in the course, which at that time was still quite new, which was a 5-year MS chemistry course, which did not have a bachelor's in between, gave you a
Mhm.
master's after 5 years.
Yes, that's
So
right. Yeah.
it was a little bit of, it wasn't a planned move, but grateful that I could be there and everything that I gained from it. So after my 5 years at IIT Delhi, I went on to IIT Bombay and did my PhD in polymer chemistry there. And
Wow.
yeah, yeah,
So you're the only one who's IIT Bombay and IIT Delhi alumni,
correct.
right?
Alumni of two
Both the
IITs.
institute.
So
Great. Yeah. So
I,
now we come to
like
Pradeep.
you,
So,
I continue to study.
I know. That's what he said. Yeah, I had no guts to continue my studies after the 5 years in IIT. Yeah, to be honest. Yeah. Yes, Pradeep. How did you get to know about IIT?
Oh, it was very plain and simple. Yeah, when you are in class 10 or 11, or nowadays it used to be only 11 years for HSC. So
Yeah.
everybody sat all the exams. So that's what I did. And
So
and
that's
I had no great vision that I want to be an engineer or IIT or something. I just when I got into most of the exams that I failed, I just joined IIT. Period.
oh, great. Yeah. What about you, Neeraj?
Yeah, my brother was already there. I'm from Aravali Hostel. He was in Jwala,
Oh,
and
so you're my
because
hostel mate.
mine was quite stressful because everybody was expecting me to be in IIT, and
Uh,
there is very minimalistic chances to be in IIT. And my brother was there from in a Jwala. He's again a mechanical engineer, so I was just
okay.
following his footsteps. So I just wanted to that's how
Oh,
everything was ready for me, and I just browses the course material, and luckily I entered IT.
great. Kiran, I think you continue on that, and you also say how was your time in the IIT when you were there?
Okay. Uh, my coming to IIT was also quite accidental. Though I had planned to be an engineer, IIT was somehow not on my first choice. But it so happened that one of my friend was studying for exam, and he said, "Why don't you also join?" And he didn't get through. I got through, so there I was, and I was in Mumbai. So during our time in 1969 batch, there were a slightly larger number of people from Maharashtra. So we were
Exactly.
about 20 people from Mumbai who
Bombay
joined
itself, yeah.
Delhi. I have a few of my batchmates who have joined today. Ajit is there, Sandeep, I can see.
Yeah,
Uh,
yes.
they were some of the uh, very very close friends. We I was in Kumau when we joined IIT. Kumau was just opening. It was the first year of Kumau, where we so some of us were put into Kumau, and in those days, of course, it was 5 year course, so we got more chance of making friendships or making friendships better. Kumau, because it was very new, uh, we were all new people in Kumau, so it was a comparatively and a much different hostel compared to other
Yeah.
hostels. um, when I joined IIT, funny thing is, coming from Mumbai, I had no idea about ragging. And
Okay.
so when somebody called me for ragging, and I sort of, probably I was rude in answering, and somehow the matter steered to movie industry, and it seemed everyone was very curious about moving movies and all that. And when they learned that I had been to movie sets and seen actor and actresses in flesh, that sort of saved me from a lot of ragging. Uh, Having said that, in our days, um, we used to have there used to be a concept of a professor assigned to 8 or 10
Yes,
stu I mean, 8 or 10
correct.
students assigned to professor, and he used to sort of be our local guardian. Most of the Delhiites would go away to their home. So, three or four of us who were outstation were enjoying all the hospitality from the professor. We came very close to the professor and his family. That plus the very good friends in who lived in Delhi, they made life really easy and enjoyable in Delhi. Otherwise, for someone coming from out of station and not being able to go home every weekend, life was quite difficult. Studies, I guess it has been hard everywhere from all the batches. So I'll not talk too much about studies. Um, I was lucky enough to be selected for a student programmer course run by Dr. Bhatt. And so, apart from my textile technology, I also got a very good exposure to computer programming and stuff like that. Um, some of the things that we liked apart from studies. See, you see, in textile technology, we were the smallest batch on the campus in those days. Textile technology had 9 people.
Yeah.
Of course, first 2 years was common, so that was good. We made a lot of friends across discipline, and third year onwards, we were in our own department. And because it was such a small batch, we were really like a family. And it was a different story compared to some of the other larger batches where there was rivalry and other things. So, because we were in textile, comparatively in those days, if you saw RCA merit list, half the people were from textile. And
Great.
so so we also got Kumau, unlike what it is later on, what it became later on, was the lowest in sports. We didn't have many good sportsmen because it was a new hostel, and I even ended up representing Kumau. And first time I played hockey. I can't imagine that kind of thing happening now.
Sorry to interrupt you there, but Kumau Hostel was in our time was known as a Kala Pani. So all those students who were really nasty to the institute were shifted to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
to the Kumau Hostel,
Except for the freshers.
except for the
Yeah, yeah,
exactly.
but I must, Narendra, mention here that Kumar was the only hostel that had single occupancy the
Everybody,
for the first 2 years. While we
correct.
shared rooms in the other hostels, Kumar had the privilege of having a single occupancy, which I think was
Yeah,
quite a perquisite.
I
right.
agree,
And
Sandeep.
Kumau also had a distinction having um, a chapati making facility.
Machine.
So a lot of people used to come from other hostels to eat chapati in Kumau. So,
I
And
think
I must mention that Shubha is here, that her husband Shashi was a very dear friend of mine in Kumau, and we
that's
had a very
right.
great time together.
That's right. Yeah. Okay,
and
Kiran, sorry to interrupt you here. Do you remember any incident during your stay in IIT, which you still remember it and cherish it?
uh, okay, one of the thing you might see the picture behind me, which is IIT. You all know it, but
Yeah.
the reason I have selected this profile is this part of the roof was constructed after 69, after we joined.
Yes, that's
And when this was being constructed, me and two of my friends back, all from Kumau, we had walked up to this place. I don't know whether you can see the arrow or not, but the
yeah.
tip
We
of
can
the,
see. Yeah.
yeah, tip of the
It,
hyperbola. It
hyperbola
sounds very,
parabol idea.
yeah, it sounds very stupid thing to do today, but yeah, we did that. Um, we used to be able to see Qutub Minar from our hostel. So every day morning when we got out of our room, we saw Qutub Minar, and there was nothing between our hostel and Qutub Minar, and we could walk up to there, and there were a lot of rocks in that area. So we used to do a lot of rock climbing and stuff like that.
Great. I think I have to cut you off and I had to go back to Pramod. Pramod, sorry I missed you as far as your pre IIT is concerned. So you can start from there. How did you get to know the IIT and later on your stay in IIT?
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, everybody. First, please confirm whether I am visible or not because I'm changing from
You
here and there.
no, no, you're visible very much.
Yes, okay, thank you. Thank you.
Now
From
you are visible.
laptop to mobile, mobile to laptop. Yeah, actually, it's very peculiar experience. I was not knowing anything about IIT when I passed out 12th from Saharanpur. I was not knowing anything about IITs, any IIT. So I
Oh,
got admission to BSc and MSc. Then
uh,
after
Babu,
MSc, yeah, after MSc, I got a job in the DCM concern near Meerut.
switch over to up the laptop. Can you do it? Sorry.
This okay?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
My battery is quite down, so I was thinking alternatives. Yeah.
yeah, right.
Go ahead.
So I joined that organization in the laboratory as a R&D officer. Then I came to know about ad of IIT admission to M.Tech. Then I applied, but my interest was not for any engineering or science or chemistry or any technology. I was more interested in cultural activities because I got to know that a lot of chances, a lot of opportunities are there in the IIT on stage and cultural programs. So I was not keen for any scientific background, but because of the situation, around me, I got to chemistry, physics, and mathematics, and all that. But in IIT also, my first priority was only for cultural activities, dramatics, music, and other activities. Then, but after going there, I started liking the atmosphere of IIT. I was in the Vindhyachal hostel along with a lot of artistic friends like Kushal Sen, like S.D. Sharma. All are into cultural activities. So I just started liking and then started participating in the cultural programs. But my guide, I was doing polymers in the final year. My
Oh,
guide, my guide was very furious about my activities, cultural activities. He was just firing every day. Why you are not in the laboratory very frequently? You are on the stage and rehearsals and all that for plays and dramatics. But I promised that I will get you at least 2, 3 international papers. Then he was satisfied. Uh, I participated in all the cultural activities like dramatics, antakshri, music, skits, everything. And luckily, I got recognition during my 2 years stay in IIT in the Vindhyachal hostel. I got a lot of recognition, awards, and all that. And that memories of IIT, still I'm having those memories with me. Though
great.
I have experience of my colleges and my village and everything, schools and all that. But IIT particularly, it stayed in me till today. You are familiar that I wrote the welcome song
Yeah,
of
I know.
IIT in my association. And till today, I'm more engaged in IIT activities than any other colleges and schools. And I'm in touch of all the IITs people, my friends and all that. We have the WhatsApp group with Alok Sahdev and all
Yes,
companies.
great.
And we are enjoying the activities. Yeah.
Yes, thank you,
After,
Pramod. And sorry, we don't have much time, so we have to finish everything. And I move on to Shubha. Shubha, your days in IITs, how you remember that?
So I, unlike Pramod, I did enjoy studying. I enjoyed learning polymer chemistry. I was trying to think today what I would talk about my time over there, and I think one of the highlights was the interaction that I had with Professor Verma. The 1974 to 79 is when I was there, and it was a great time to be a woman student at IIT. I
Professor,
was mess
What's
secretary.
happening?
Was
yeah,
I was part of the editorial board of Pulse. I acted in plays and I got a consolation prize for in the inter IIT. I took part in the inter IIT sports meet. I was captain of the
You.
women's table tennis team, and it helped IIT Delhi that year to stand for second. The first position always used to be kept for IIT Madras, but we managed to become the second in that year. And the women's table tennis team played a part in adding points to that. It was by chance being captain of the table tennis team also helped me later.
Oh,
It was part of my CV when I applied for a National Research Council fellowship to go to NASA. And my boss at NASA actually told me that that is what made me stand out from other people. And that is why he then paid a lot more attention to my application. So that experience as playing table tennis actually helped me in my professional career also. Similarly, Professor I.K. Verma, anyone who was in textiles would also know her husband, D.S. Verma. But
yeah,
I.K.
correct.
Verma was the professor that I
Chemistry.
a huge debt to. And it's she was my guide for my final year program and the experimental work that we did. And then subsequently, 10 years later, I was in Bangalore. I was applying for the scientist D position at the Aeronautical Development Establishment, a DRDO lab. And I flew from Bangalore to Delhi for the interview. And it was such a surprise, but she was the head of that panel, the interview panel. So we was meeting after 10 years. Those are the days of the aerograms and we had lost touch. And it was amazing that during the interview, one question would be on polymers and one question was, "To tum ab kya kar rahe ho? Kitne bacche hain? Kahan pe rehte ho?" and so on. I think everyone would know that I got the job. But she remains one of the most loved of the professors that I had at IIT. So that was a huge memory. Yeah.
Thanks, Shubha, for that. It was really lovely. And now I come to Pradeep. Pradeep, though you were junior to me by 2 years, I don't remember having ranked during that time. Yeah. So your days at Aramli Hostel. We have one more Aramlite, which is Neeraj, who's next to you.
So, as far as I was concerned, I think IIT was about rediscovering yourself, fun and games, going to Bombay for IIT, Mood Indigo, going to IIT Kanpur for the cultural festival over there, becoming the GSEC for RCA. That is what I remember. I don't remember much about the classrooms I went over there, but I remember the other activities I spent more time in.
I think in this group, the people who are more keen on doing extracurricular activities rather than studies. Yeah, Pramod is there, you are there, and even I think Shubha, who's more keen on table tennis rather
Because
than the
I
study.
do remember one thing that we used to have that Professor Ramamurthy for quantum mechanics, and when the final exam were there,
Yeah.
3/4 of the class had taken a medical certificate. So that is what
That's
I
really
remember.
news. That's really news. Yeah. So that's all. So we come back to Neeraj. So how was your days in IIT?
I think it was wonderful. I think my approach is also similar to what Mr. Kush and Mr. Pradeep had. So with the day when I come to IIT, I said I'm done with my studies. Now I'll focus on my, other activities. So one incident I still remember, I used to dance above average. So what's one of my seniors saw me doing those steps. So he said, okay, now you are a very good dancer. You should be in the middle. So they gave me, half an hour where, with dramatics and the dance, everything together, some program we made. But I come from a tier two city. So like Bhopal. So then it was too much for me and I forgot the steps in that was, in middle. So everybody in institute, I was famous. This is the guy who you forget the steps. Everybody used to, oh, what have you done? I think next time you better prepared. So everybody used to know me. So then I took a determination approach that now I'll remove my stage fear. So by end of my fourth year, I have won a lot of dance and dramatics awards there from Aravali Hostel. I became very confident on stage speaking. So what I felt is IIT days has given you the confidence which will be with you till the end of your life. So you can talk to anybody, you can speak your mind. You are so confident in any situation which you will see. Here I am advising some government here in Uganda, so it's so free. You are so clear in what you have to do. And so that confidence, what I think especially came from those days where everybody consider you to be the best, and you feel very best when you see in in IITs everybody is good in something or other. So that kind of confidence journey and experience which I had. I think it's still with me, and I think it is in my DNA. So that's what I can,
Okay,
say
I have a
about
question
that.
to all of you, and that is, when we were outside the IIT, we had not entered into IIT, we all were, in English, they call it, we were cats. Am I right? Cats is the word which is being used. But when you come inside the IIT, you suddenly realize that they're not one cat, but there are, everybody is a cat here. So how do you feel about the competition once you enter inside the IIT? We start with you only, Neeraj.
I think very important, especially not only see in academics, people are doing very good. They are applying their mind in even dramatics. I have seen people nowadays, they are uh, the choreography which they are doing is as par like you can see in the Bollywood movies. So what I felt is competition is good, and especially not only I think when you see when you are out of IIT, you see, okay, suppose you are good in one maths and this thing, but when you're in an IIT, you are like an average. So competition is good, but what I felt is when I go to, even in IIMs, you will stay together with the IIT people only, because that's where how the attachment come. Your bar is so high that whenever you interact with the people who doesn't think in a similar way or similar DNA, so then in that case you feel something out of the crowd. But yes, competition was very good in every aspects, not only in academics. I didn't do much in IIT. I was some 5 point or something, so I can't speak much about during the IIT days. But yes, after that, maybe in IIMs and this thing and in the CFS, there I studied. But yes, I loved the competition. I loved the competitive approach. So I want to close. One of my friend of my brother used to, because we were so competitive. Here, your brother is feels so happy and relaxed. I think he is not working much on himself. Huh? So that kind of the approach usually typically ideas have. You shouldn't be smiling. You should be just focus on your goals and all this stuff.
You should always be a
So
glum-looking guy, huh? That's good. Yeah. Yes, Pradeep. So how did you face the competition? Pradeep, can you hear me? I think you're on mute.
Oh, yes, tell me.
Yeah, I see. What I want to say is that uh, this thing, how was the competition? When you are outside, when you enter in, you are, you're at the top. But when you enter in, you suddenly realize, okay, there are lots of people who are probably above you also. How did you feel the competition in the initial stage?
So that is what Neeraj said is exactly true. You know, that when you come to IIT, you find that, well, oh man, you are no longer the so-called super intelligent guy. You know, everybody around you is also, if not better. So it's very, very, that's why it's a very lovely time to rediscover yourself and to find your own niches and so on and so forth, you know. So I think it's very, very important to get into that kind of a semblance, you know,
Uh,
to understand that yes, there are other people also around. And then I just want to kind of add on another thing. See, the IIT stint gives you such an air of superiority that when I got my first job at Crompton Greaves, when I joined the company, I thought that I am like a director of the company, and all the people working over there are idiots, you know. So anyway, there are a lot of good, interesting stories. So back to you. You know, it was really fun to meet so many intelligent people over there.
Great. Shubha, did you feel the same thing? Shubha, where are you?
I think the place that uh, was most difficult was in the maths 7LT, where we had Professor Parthasathi teaching us. And yeah, you're right. I had come from the CBSE. I had got 198 out of 200 in my maths exam. in the boards, and suddenly I wasn't understanding what was happening. So yeah, it was a little bit of a come down. But definitely, as someone mentioned, see, the IIT gives you the confidence to go out and feel that you can do anything that you want. So this stood me in good stead afterwards also when I went for when we moved to London. And just over the phone, I called up someone at the National Physical Laboratory and said, you know, I'm here and I'm from IIT and I'm looking for a job. And he said, I think I can find something for you. And from the next day, I started working there. So
Wow.
um, I think the confidence that IIT gives you, that you have the ability to compete with the best in the world.
So, Narendra, I just want to add on something over here,
Yeah.
just in direct contrast to what Shubha said. When I migrated to Australia, nobody
Yeah.
knew about IITs. When I said that I am from IIT, so they would say, "Oh, are you from IT?" I said, "No, no, 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 not IT, but IIT."
Yeah.
So it was direct contrast to what Shubha's experience
So
was.
I quite agree with what Pradeep you are saying, and because many a time, even in India, the moment you say you are from IIT, he says, "No, are you from ITI?"
Same
That's when
happened to
he
me.
come down. Yeah.
No, they didn't even know ITI. They only thought, IT, like
Yes, correct.
computers.
But it's fortunate that in the US it is very well known. Yes, Pradeep.
Yeah,
Not
yeah, back
Pradeep.
to
Yeah,
you.
sorry, Pramod.
Yeah, yeah,
What's your views?
yeah.
But
My
because you never
experience is
studied anything in IIT.
actually in IT, I was more involved in the cultural activities than my classrooms and all that. But I got three international papers also for my guide, not for
Wow.
me. But in cultural activities, I must say that I got the base for as a poet, as a writer, as an artist. I got a base in IIT. I got Best Actor Award from NSD judges for my dramatics. I got Best Poet Award for Vatayan magazine when Sanjeev Saran was the editor. I got outstanding award for that. And I used to write for every edition of Vatayan, my poetry and all that. And it was quite popular in IIT. So people used to recognize me from my, not for my chemistry background, but for my cultural activities. And that gave me the opening to the open world when I joined some private companies, some American collaboration in the research and development.
Wow. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, we are back.
some interruption was there. Then I joined BIS during the interview also. The IIT, the name of the IIT gave me the boost. In the interview, my DG, he was a secretary from the ministry. He mentioned that IIT students are very good. Then the interviewer didn't ask me much about that. Then I got selected. So that IIT name was quite enough for the recognition or the for the identity of the person. I worked the BIS, but my tag of IIT remained with me throughout my career. And
I think I
even in
agree with you.
yeah, yeah, but even in Bollywood also, when I joined Devanand Navketan, he knew everything about IIT, and he used to discuss all the events of IIT. I used to discuss with Devanand, and he used to like me because of my background, the technical background and a government job. So that gave me the confidence also. And I continued as a poet and a stage, but my IIT tag was with me throughout, and it will remain throughout my life.
Yes, Kiran, now it's your turn. Kiran, can you hear
Yeah.
me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
just want
Okay.
to hear you now.
Yeah, yeah. As I mean, everyone said, it's a very humbling experience the minute you step into IIT. And but having said that, uh, people were also in general cooperative, and while there were a lot of people above you, there were a few people who would come to you for asking questions. So it used to get averaged out. Again, I was no competition for the toppers, so toppers would generally not be worried about helping me. So that way I navigated through it. But overall, yes, IIT did give us a very great amount of confidence. The reason we don't talk about academics is not that we have not done, but we're assuming that everyone has gone through the same grind, and if they have passed, then they must meet at least the minimum. So yeah, it was tough. The studies was tough. The only thing that made us go through the studies was that unless we go out, we are not going to get over the challenges. So the sooner we get out, the better it is. Having done that, but overall, I think particularly in my hostel, my batchmates were very, very cooperative. They would easily share the assignments. We would not bother about whether someone else will get more marks than me or not. um, the IIT tag did help at times, not everywhere. As someone as he said, Australia, nobody knows IIT. Now they have started recognizing. But my job in Bahrain was like my previous people were from IIT, and when they left, my boss said, "I want another IITian." So I was shortlisted because of that, and then obviously afterwards, when I selected people, I also made sure that I took IITians, and so that way IIT name works. But I don't think it's just the name. It's probably because everyone who gets out is minimum is expected, and probably because we are talking in this forum where everyone is at least that much, we can say that it was easy. But despite all the things that they have done, if you can get through all the 5 years without losing years or even eventually passing out, then you must be smarter than most people in the world. So that remains.
Yeah, Kiran, you have two more minutes to sum it up what you did after the IITs. How has been your
Okay.
journey, professional journey?
Yeah, I my one of the best thing that happened to me in IIT was getting selected for student programmer. That gave me exposure to computer science, uh, for because of which I did computer management course in Jamnan Al Bajaj, and then got into the computers when people were asking me, why are you going for computers? It was very early in the country for computers, and that took me to National Bank of Bahrain in Bahrain, and I became CIO there. I retired at 55 from there, and then I have been working, but more than working in professionally, I moved into more into spirituality, and I take yoga class and Gita classes, and
Wow.
I try to make the best out of my remaining time. My daughter and son both joined IIT because I liked it, and they have also passed through. My daughter passed through IIT Delhi 25 years later. So
Wow.
yeah, we carry on the legacy, and hopefully um, the name plus the spiritual bent that I've got now is the best thing that has happened to me.
Thank you, Kiran. Shubha, how was your journey? I know you have already mentioned some of it during the
Yeah.
talk.
So for
How it
15
was after the
years,
IIT.
right, for 15 years, I did work with in the field of polymer chemistry. I was at NASA, I was at Johnson and Johnson for 6 years, then for 4 years at the Aeronautical Development Establishment, and then 2 years at the National Physical Laboratory. And then when we came back from England in 1999, I felt like I needed to do something different, give back to society. And I joined Cancer Patients Aid Association. So this was an organization that had been that had helped me a great deal during the time that my mother was suffering from breast cancer. She passed away in 1990, and I had seen that education, money, contacts, nothing helps when you are dealing with cancer. So I had decided in 1990 that I would take the opportunity whenever I got a chance. And this was the first time. So I joined CPAA, and I'm glad that other people are also talking about something non IIT ish going forward, because I thought I was going to have to explain why I joined it. I think I did a good job, and I brought something to the CPAA table that IIT helped me to take there, and that's something also that no one else would have been able to do. So I've done a lot of research on psychosocial issues related to cancer. I have 35 publications since then. I had another 30 publications and 2 US patents in my earlier avatar in polymer chemistry. But since then, I'm very proud of the work that I have done over here. And if anyone is listening and is thinking about which NGO to support with your CSR funds, contact me.
Good. Thank you, Shubha. That's really great. Yeah, so you're doing service to the society. At some stage, we have to give it back to the society, and if we don't, well, then a debt is left on to you. Okay, I'll move on to Neeraj now. Neeraj, your short journey. You say that 2 minutes.
Yeah, very interesting journey. Being an engineer, I worked in engineering firm for just couple of years. I was with Punch Lloyd. Then I did the MBA, and then from there, my exposure to the business and especially the business side. So to late, if you see from past, I think 13, 14 years, I have because of I think definitely because of the IIT, I've been to like 18 plus countries, worked at different capacity level, from chief commercial officer to operating officer to group general manager to advisor. So I think exposure is quite satisfying, and especially impact wise, because I heard, Mr. Kiran. So I am also little bit inclined to spirituality, and the project which I have taken here is one of the most impactful project which I wanted to do. So still, being not, but being, I say in my
Can you share
40s
that?
able to.
What's your project?
So my project basically is it's one of the first manufacturing coffee manufacturing facility in Uganda, and also saying East Africa. So instant coffee manufacturing.
Oh,
So it's very common in India, but here it's doing that thing is one of the big things. So whole value chain and impacting those value chain. So it's a quite, so I choose this project out of the other option which I had.
mhm.
So I think that's what the IIT gives you, flow wherever you want it to, flow. So I think I'm really, really grateful and also privileged because of these, like I'll say, uh, wonderful colleague, and even my brother who is IIT Delhi pass out, and so that's where I'm very grateful, and it's wonderful journey, and I'm hoping for to do for another decade out of India, and then finally I want to settle back in India.
Yeah, thank you, Neeraj. That was wonderful. Pradeep, I know your days till you were in Bombay and with Continent Greaves, and then you moved over to Australia. I don't know what happened after that. Yeah, so you can start from the Australian time.
So after IIT, I joined Crompton Greaves as a management trainee, and within 2 years, I was looking after business development for overseas projects in Middle East and Southeast Asia. So I used to be traveling at 2 years post IIT. I was traveling to Bahrain, Dubai, Indonesia, Singapore, in those times when you used to get only $100 per day. to spend on your hotel and taxis and everything like that. Anyway, further down, I had a few roles at different roles at Crompton Greaves, and one day one of my class fellows from IIT who was also with Crompton, he said, "Oh, I'm applying for migration to Australia. Why don't you apply?" So I said, "Okay." I also put in an application. Within 6 months, the migration came through. Now we are wondering what to do. And we packed our bags and okay, chalo, chalo. And those were the days, where India was going to have just 2.5 weeks of foreign exchange left, and nobody knew what was going to happen to the country and all that. So we packed our bags and went. We landed over there in the middle of the biggest recession when unemployment was 12%, as compared to now, which is about 3% in Australia. So the journey of rediscovery, I don't know how many job roles I have changed over. Initially I got a job as a manager of a section in the government looking after tenders and contract administration, but I always had this vision, I want to go back to India, posted as a diplomat. So I applied for and got a job as a program manager with Australian Trade Commission. वो मन में था ना कि वो ऑस्ट्रेलियन फ्लैग वाली सीडी कार होनी चाहिए यहाँ पर. But before that, I thought कि that was a great role, and उसके बाद में I went over to do my MBA from AGSM, which is the #1 business school in Australia. And by the time I finished my MBA, I thought that I'll go into structured finance. But all of a sudden, Y2K was coming up, and there was good money in IT. So if you even said IT, so you got $100 an hour. हाँ, मुझे कोई IT वाईटी कुछ नहीं आता था, मैं सब भूल-भाल गया था, मुझे कुछ नहीं पता था. But I got a job with IBM as a project manager, and here I had very 95 people working for me, hardcore techos, and I don't even know what a waterfall is. So I started doing my second master's in computer science. But then I had some great roles with IBM. When IBM sold out Lenovo, I was the Asia Pacific Deployment Planning Manager. When they bought a company called Merz Data in Denmark, I was the Asia Pacific Acquisition Manager. Then I was asked to set up the global delivery for IBM Australia and New Zealand. And I built up a significant business leveraging India, China, Philippines, Vietnam, Egypt, Romania, Argentina, and Brazil. And then later on, once I was still with IBM, and I said, hang on a second. I told my wife, look, I have all this startup businesses now, kind of catching up. Now I want to quit IBM and do something on my own. Is it okay if I quit? So she said, so long you don't eat my head, go ahead and do whatever you want to do. I said, okay. So I started a company, my own company, Global Mindset. And here I said, let me take off the IBM badge or the blanket over and see what is my brand. And my brand was zero. So then, it was like how to build up the brand. And yes, within, 2-3 years, we had established Global Mindset as the global company in consulting in, education technology, where I didn't know anything about education, and I was being invited to speak at conferences on how technology is reshaping education and training. Anyway, from there on, emerging technologies were catching fire. So I said, okay, again, another pivot. So let's now focus on to emerging technologies. And then I got into virtual reality, augmented reality, and a whole lot of emerging. And that's what I've been doing. And all along, all I do is nothing. I talk about something which nobody understands. But I just get to travel all over the world and just enjoy myself.
Great. That's very good. So, Pradeep, after IIT, you straight away came down to Bollywood?
Come again?
Hey, I'm talking about now Pramod.
Yeah, please.
Oh, Pramod.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Pradeep.
Yeah.
So,
People used
Pramod,
to
after IIT, you came straight away landed up in Bombay in the Bollywood.
Yeah,
Right?
after my IIT, I did work for some foreign collaborations companies in the R&D. Then I joined BIS, and I got posted in Mumbai.
Okay.
First job in 1995, and then after 2-3 years, I got to work with Jatin Lalit, the music composer, because I was going here and there for my break in the Bollywood. So I got a chance working with Devan's film, where Jatin Lalit, they were giving the music. So then I wrote a number of number of movies as a writer. Then I started my own production company, Kishi Creations. Then I released number of music albums where I wrote, I composed, and I sang my own ghazals and bhajans. Basically, I'm a ghazalkar and as a munch artist. Because of the stage confidence I got in IIT, so I started anchoring a lot of programs, a lot of like Shatrughan Sinha musical nights, then a lot of programs. So then, working with the BIS, along with that, I was writing for movies, jingles, lot of jingles I used to write, and but my mind was only for my cultural activities, not for the job also. Though I got promotions in time, I was doing well with the bureau, where I was. A lot of traveling was there for industries, audits, and all that. But I worked with the bureau for 24, 25 years. Then I took VRS from Delhi because I got a lot of transfers. Mumbai to Ahmedabad, Ahmedabad to Hyderabad, then Delhi. So I decided now is a high time. Uh, I will work fully for my Bollywood and for my cultural activities. I took VRS in 2009 and shifting to Mumbai. But again, BIS has engaged me as a trainer and as an auditor for auditing defense and all government departments and all that. But I devoted more time for my writing and music, and I released number of albums and number of movies. I wrote songs, and still I'm doing the same. And I'm very active on stage for my Kavi Sammelan, Mushaira. I organize,
Yeah,
and
yeah. I keep
I'm
reading about it in the Facebook.
yeah, yeah. And I wrote the welcome song of IIT Alumni Association. And
Oh,
I wrote for Alok Sadev's batch also, for IIT batch. And
oh,
I'm enjoying that. And I'm releasing my new ghazals very recently. I'm going to release my new albums, new ghazals.
so do remember
I,
us, sir.
I published a number of books. Four books I have released. I have published. I got Gujarat Sahitya Academy Award for my Urdu Ghazal book, Aansu Bhi Khanakte Hain. I learned Urdu full-time course in in Ahmedabad, and I am very keen on learning so many things. So I am just enjoying my cultural activities. I
Great.
got Best Actor Award in IIT from NSD judges for my play. And one play I took part with SD Sharma, where we were not remembering our dialogues, just extempore we played, and I got award for that also. I got all Best Actor Award, Best Music, Best Writer, all first prizes in IIT.
Yeah,
So I
because you
enjoyed
can't
my
beat
stay in
Bollywood.
IIT. Yeah, yeah. And I in BIS also, after leaving BIS, I could do a lot of big consultancies as a technical personnel for Phenolics, for Abbott, for McKinsey, and a lot of industries. I did a lot of consultancy work, though
So
it was not my interest. But since
so you
offer
blended the
came to my
technology
way,
and the cultural thing very well here.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Thanks
So
to
I
IIT.
enjoyed. I enjoyed. I enjoyed. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I take this opportunity to welcome everybody who is watching the show and would request you that, say, I conduct this program once a month for the IITs. Ever since I was the part of the executive council, uh, anybody who's interested should get in touch with the office, and we will try and accommodate you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Sanjay. Nakum. Am I right? And, yeah, and Harry is there. A lot of other people are there. Sandeep was there. I don't know where he disappeared. I enjoyed conducting it, and I hope you all enjoyed being a part of this. ये उन दिनों की बात है, and it has taken you back to the IIT days. At least every time I conduct this thing, I feel I'm back in the IIT.
Yeah, thank you.
Same
So
here.
thank
Same
you,
here.
everybody. Thank you very much for being part of the game today. I hope to
Thank
see
you.
you very soon once again. Yeah.
Thank
Thank
Over
you.
and
you.
out.
Thank you, everyone. It was amazing to be the
Yeah.
part.
Yeah, and let's be together and do something for our alma mater, because it's important that our association, alumni association, grows from there on. Okay, bye for now.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everybody.
Thank you. Thank you so much.